who I may vehemently disagree with on lots of different things, but you have a right in this country to speak your piece. But your rights end where mine begin.
What I have to say. And I'm in this position, and like the breakup at first didn't make sense to me, but it makes all the sense now because I've really grown into my power, and I stand so firm in my truth.
I gotta be honest. I'm tired of hearing women talk about their power and their truth. I said this in an interview when I talked to her. This whole notion of my truth, my truth, my truth, my truth, my truth. It's to the point now where it's just like wah, 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 white noise and Charlie Brown. Your truth, your power, fine. But we have 7 billion people on the planet, and everyone can't be powerful and truth telling. I mean, at some point, other people matter. Other people do have an opinion, and other people's opinions matter. So I'll tell you right now, I understand. Well, I'll save that for a little bit. Again, and this is not just with Brittany. This is a lot of women today talking about my truth, my truth, my truth. This my truth stuff, in my personal opinion, has become BS. My truth and it's a way to lack accountability and to do what the hell you want to do. Because it's my truth. We live in a world today where 8th place trophies and everybody gets a prize and body positivity. But what is it doing for people overall? What's it doing for relationships and couples overall? What it's doing is making everybody little kings and queens. Selfishness. To where I shouldn't have to edit. Let's go, because here we go.
And am ready to challenge whatever narrative and push whatever envelope, because a lot of people, if they don't have the platform, they don't have the courage to say it. And there's not a lot of women out there who, because they want that prim, proper, perfect perception. Perception is not reality to me.
This is what you believe. This is what you believe. I'm gonna say a lot of women don't want to do it because they don't want to deal with the consequences if that's not who they really are. See, one of the problems is when we talk about this power and truth, it's almost as though you diminish other women in their truth. Maybe their truth is the same as your truth. Maybe their power is being prim and proper because that's what resonates with them. Is there room for both in this universe? And this is where it starts to get, the wheels start to fall off, because now we're getting out of the lane of this is my truth, my belief, to the fact that now we're talking about what's wrong with everybody else. Well, when you start talking about what's wrong with everybody else, then everybody else can turn around and start saying what they feel about what's going on, because you're right, not everyone has a platform. Because most people are average and have jobs and they have to deal with other people. And you can't walk into a work world or relationships telling everybody, this is my truth, this is my power. I'm doing what I got to do. That's not how that works. I speak to women every week who are educated, accomplished, powerful truth tellers whose lives are empty as hell because they lack the social skills to get along with people. Now, I'm not saying, put a fork this, because we're still on the road. Because I sat down with Brittany, and I'm telling you right now, the person I know and the person I talk to, she believes everything she's saying. And for you, Brittany, yes, for you and women of your ilk, maybe your people you run with is cool, but now we're about to start talking about outside of you, other women, and we're about to start talking about men.
Who I am in real life is much different than who I am on Instagram. So I just feel called because in my mess, I have a message. And if my life was perfect, how would I be able to help people? I feel like that is why I have a platform. Yes, I'm beautiful. Yes, people could say, oh, we just follow you because of your body, whatever. But you're still here. And people listen, millions of people tune into my videos when I do IGTVs. People care about what I have to say. And I offer a refreshing point of view because I'm not afraid.
Okay. Now, whether you guys like it or not, people do care what she has to say. You may make a judgment to say what they care about, why they care about it. It doesn't really matter. Uh, you have a refreshing point of view. Okay, that's possibly true as well. I, again, a lot of guys have issues with women overestimating themselves, thinking it's more important. But here's the thing: just like the numbers don't lie. She does have a big platform. A lot of people do tune in. And unless you have countervailing data, her opinion is just as good as yours. Again, this is my individualism. But see, here's a point. This is where a lot of guys start to get upset because it's this my truth, my individualism, gray area stuff that has screwed up relationships between men and women on the whole. We are so hyper individualistic. No one wants to have any boundaries or controls or restrictions. We want to be able to do everything and then get what we want out of life. And that's just not how it works. It doesn't work that way.
You can burn me at the stake. I love it. So I can't say that I'm going to play the background, for a marriage. Like, I shouldn't have to shrink myself. If my expression is loud and proud, then the man that wants to be with me is going to have to accept that. Social media, you're still on social media. You said you're.
This is where I had a problem. I shouldn't have to shrink myself. Yeah, you should. Just like a man has to enlarge himself because wife is a role. Wife is a title and wife is a role. There's a bump in the night, just like I sat down on my couch, as loud and as proud as you are, one of us has to go take the bullet. And what'd you say? Get up and take the lick. But y'all, when you're loud and proud and your truth proclaiming your feminine and your womanly excellence, you start talking like you're a goddamn superhero. You're a person. And there is not a co-vice president. There's not a co-president. There's a CEO, there's a president, there's vice president. This world is broken into hierarchies. And one of the things I love most about Bear Grylls Island season 2, men on one island, women on another island. Women in their natural state, when they're around each other, they resist rules, structure, and hierarchy. They all tend to want to be in charge. Men naturally sort ourselves into a hierarchy. And like it or not, the reason a lot of you ladies can talk this first world womanist, feminist stuff is because men have civilized the world in general and allowed you to be safe enough in the world to be able to have these freedoms. Cool. But then when you start turning and looking at men as though they're an issue, or these very men who have civilized the world in general, like there's some silly doofy oafs, we haven't got there yet. We haven't got there. We're on the shrink myself. See, I want you to understand how we talk about relationships. You want a future husband to get out there and accept you and all this other stuff, but then you don't want to have to shrink yourself. This is one of the biggest problems in modern relationships. Women want men to be men, and women want to do what the hell they want to do. That does not work, ladies. Brittany, that doesn't work. There's a hierarchy.
48. So are you supposed to get off social media because you want to be married? No, because you're a boss. If you can't hang, you can scram.
All right, you all know what I think about this boss chick shit. Boss chick, diva, bad chick, whatever. You're talking to Blad, talking about you're supposed to get off social media. Blad's business is social media. If you're already on social media, that's one thing. But basically what this is, I need to be who I am, and if you can't accept me who I am, I scram. Well, that has two ways, ladies. That has two ways. So it's like a man is supposed to accept you in all your glory, but a man can have no expectations. And if a man has expectations, he needs to scram. This is why a lot of guys are just disdaining relationships with women because men are tired of hearing. Now, here's the thing that I think Brittany needs to understand. You can do this because you have a platform and you can make money in non-traditional ways. You got average everyday women talking this kind of stuff because they hear it reinforced from women everywhere. But it's not working to get the relationships you want, ladies. The men that you want to be with that accept boss chicks tend to be beta males.
So I don't feel like I gotta shrink myself. And I think I love that you asked me that question because we need to start having conversations about that as women. We need.
That's where I lost it. We need to start having conversations about that as women, not having to shrink ourselves. No, the fuck you don't. We have had 60 plus years of third wave feminism telling women they can have it all. You have to shrink yourself. Well, does a man have to? So I need you to understand, in order for you to play your role as a wife, that's somehow negative, shrinking yourself. And you wonder why men aren't wanting to rush to marry modern women. How do you speak about relationships? You speak about relationships in the context of the men you have chosen. So up to this point, I was with her. I'm like, that's Brittany. That's what she does. That's and so forth. But when you start talking about we need to start having these conversations as women, now we're in the same pond. That conversation is women. Where is it going to lead average women? Where's it going to lead the average woman? Where's it going to lead the average woman who's working a 9 to 5 with $40,000 to $50,000 in student loan debt,